Submitting an expense reimbursement through Kent State University is really not that difficult, but along with the printed form that we've emailed to you and this little audio video presentation, hopefully it will become even that much easier. As you know, you submit your travel expense reimbursements through Flashline. So let's take a look at our Flashline account. Once you're in it, you'll be able to see all of these tabs. It is my suggestion that before you get started, that you put together all of the information that you're going to need. It makes it just that much more simple, and you won't get timed out of your Flashline account as a consequence. So what you'll want to do is have all the specific dates for your travel times, the specific locations, the number of miles that you traveled, and remember that the mileage that you are permitted to submit is only the mileage above and beyond what your round trip to Kent State University would be. It is just the overage mileage to your particular destination. If you have miscellaneous expenses like photocopying or materials that you've purchased, that goes under a different category, and that is a miscellaneous category. You can group all of those together. So if you did photocopying on one date and then did it on another date, just put all of that expense together as one. All right, so let's get started. As you can see, we've got our Flashline, my Flashline account up, and what we're going to do is go to My Action Items. I believe that's where we are right now. My Action Items, and you'll see that there is a tab, there is a link for expense reimbursement. So when you arrive at this destination, you are going to begin a new reimbursement. In terms of payment, it would go to you, most likely to your home address rather than to a department. And then we'll click on Proceed. Now you have two categories. You've got travel expense and miscellaneous expense. So let's start with travel. And you can see that it asks you, what is your travel purpose? And you need to put something in there, otherwise it will not accept the expense. So let's put in, for most of you, it's going to be because you're teaching an off-campus course. So there you have your travel purpose. Now, I'm just going to make up something. We're going to pretend that we went to Hudson on March 1st of 2011. So let me put in the travel date, which would be 03/01/2011. And then you need to select a time. And I think for most of you, the time will be in the PM. But again, you've got that choice. So we'll choose 3:30 on that particular date. And then we'll put the end time, which will be 03/01/2011. And then again, we will select the PM time for your return. And in this case, I'm going to select 9 p.m. All right, the departure city is always Kent. That's what we leave as the default city of departure. The destination city, however, you select from this very long list. And what we're going to do is go to Ohio. And for the most part, most of your destinations are not going to be listed. So what we do is choose Ohio Other for a destination other than those listed. Then you'll see a box suddenly appears, and that's where you type in your destination. Now we need to select a type of expense, and in this case, it is a personal car. And then you will add the number of miles that you traveled. And remember, take into consideration it is just the overage that is permitted. So now we will click on Accept Expense, and you'll see that it shows up down at the bottom. Now at this point, we are going to add another expense. This time we're going to add a miscellaneous expense. So let's click on Miscellaneous, and let's pretend that we spent $53.25 for photocopying. And we'll make it the same date. 03/01/2011. It was a very busy day. And then select the commodity. And again, lots of things from which to select. And I don't believe we've got photocopiers, but we have photographic filming and video equipment. That's not exactly it. You could choose paper materials and products, or you could choose office supplies. Either one of those would probably work just fine. Or you could choose just miscellaneous other. So choose whatever it is that you think that is most appropriate. I'm going to choose miscellaneous other. And what we're going to do is you can, again, choose whichever one you think is appropriate, but after the fact, you do need to hand in the actual receipts to the person in the college or with whom you are working, the same person who would have gotten you your employment paperwork. That individual within each school actually needs to have your receipts for any photocopying or any miscellaneous expense. All right, so then we're going to select Accept Expense. And you can see that it is now down at the bottom, and you can see that to the left we now have a total allocated balance or unallocated balance of $58.35. So it automatically adds these things. Now at this point I'm going to point out that you can actually print a copy of this if you would like to, and I do suggest that you keep a copy of this at some point for your records to see exactly what you have submitted. So after you've actually printed, and we'll take a look at the printable version. After you print this, then you can go back, just X out of this and go back, and then we can proceed with the remaining components of the travel reimbursement. Again, you did not get any kind of travel advance, so we'll proceed. And this is where you're going to put in that account. And the account information, again, is going to come from the school. They're going to give you the number of the account that actually should be selected to be charged for this expense. I'm going to put my own in, but that would not be the one that you would choose, obviously. And then we'll select an account, and we're going to do Travel General. And then we're going to put the amount in, and our total amount is $58.35. So we're going to click on Accept and Proceed. We really don't need to write a comment unless you'd like to, but we do have to sign off on this form. And at this point, this is where you could save it as a draft and come back to it if you have additional expenses that you anticipate. I think it's a very good idea to submit all of your expenses right after your course ends. And probably a good idea to submit them all together. It's certainly easier for you and easier for the person in the department who will then handle the submission. So at this point you would click on Submit for Approval, and that should go through, and then you'll get an automatic email message indicating that the request has been submitted. When it is approved, you should also get an email response that it has been approved. If you have any questions or any problems with this process, again, it would be the individual in the school with whom you have worked on obtaining all of that detail information, such as your employment contract and code numbers, department numbers, those kinds of things. They would be the individual who would be most likely to help you. So good luck with it. Hope this has helped.